Welcome back to San Antonio Living. We're going to talk about a very tough subject to talk about, domestic abuse, sexual abuse, and all of it is chronicled in this book. It's called Breakaway by Nadia. She is a resident here of the Hill Country, and she's joining us on San Antonio Living to tell her story. And although it may be hard to talk about and hard to get out there, the end result is that you're here,
yes.
You're alive, all is well, and you are beginning really another stage of your life right now.
Yes.
Thank you so much for coming by today.
Thank you. Thank you for having me.
I've met so many people who know you, and everyone just raves about you. They say you're a fascinating speaker, a fascinating woman, and a woman who really has come so far with just so much going on in your life. And when did all of this start for you?
Well, the abuse started at 5 years old. I was sexually molested by my grandfather, and he did that for about 3 years. And he kept me silent by always giving me, threatening me with a machete to keep me silent, which would keep anyone silent, and it did for a lot of years. Then after that, I got my abuse from my own father, physical abuse, because he wanted me to do what he wanted me to do. He wanted to take control of my life, who I was going to marry, who I was going to talk to, who I wasn't going to talk to. So I wasn't allowed to talk to American kids or walk home from school.
Because you were born in Beirut, you came to the States at the age of 2.
That's right.
Do you think your father's culture and upbringing had a lot to do with the abuse?
Well, he was born in America, and he was raised in Lebanon. He served in the French Navy, and I believe that a lot of the abuse was because he was abused, and he was not nurtured as a child. His mother disappeared. I think she got murdered, but she disappeared when he was young.
So it started with your grandfather, then your father,
yes,
and then your first husband.
Yes, my father, it began at the age of 13 until I was 17, and 18 to get out of the house. And I went through domestic violence for 3 years, and I had 2 children with my first husband, and he was an American, and I thought that because he loved me, everything would be good. He was an alcoholic, and being green and naive and gullible and sheltered, I had no idea what I was getting into. I had never dated him, so I had to experience all that, and I thought it was normal because I went through so much abuse as a child, and as a teenager, I thought this was the way of life. So
fast forward, and you get out of this relationship. How did you break away?
Well, he put me in a hospital. Actually, he beat me severely when I was pregnant with the second child. And he put me in a hospital, and I almost lost my life as well as my child. And through prayer, I was saved. I was saved. And after my baby was 2 months old, he came into the house drunk. And he wanted the last $5 that I had for children's milk. And he took their food and said, if I can't have the beer, they can't eat. That did it. That was the straw that broke the camel's back. I said, okay, I can take all the beatings you give me, but you're not going to do this to my children. So he hit me over the head with a beer bottle and punched me a few times. And when he left, I took my kids and I took off. And I never came back. And I made a new life for myself and my children.
There may be women sitting at home right now who can identify with your story.
Yes.
What would you say to them?
I would say to make the choice to leave, not to stay in the relationship, because it'll get worse. It never gets better. And I was fortunate that I didn't get killed throughout my life, because a lot of things happened so much. And when they see the things that happened to me, you know, I went through date rape, I went through illegal abortion, I went through so much that could have cost me my life. And it's a miracle that I'm sitting here today. And they need to make a choice. And as I say, it is by choice, not by chances, that we change our circumstances. And we, for our children, need to get away. And because I got away when my children were so young, they are not abusers like their father was.
That is a cycle that needs to be broken.
Yes.
You know, you had mentioned your grandfather,
yes,
your father, your husband.
Yes.
How was it that you were able to get out of that and come out such a beautiful woman, such a beautiful person?
Oh, you're sweet. Thank you. It wasn't easy. It took 25 years to write the book. I went through all of that all over again, went through depression again, went through suicidal thoughts. And I had to get the strength. Something inside of me just was, I wasn't going to let anyone break my, that's what it is. And I wasn't going to let anyone have power over me. And I think that was just something innate in me. And I fought back all the time. I was rebellious, which cost me more beatings, but I was so strong-minded that I was determined to have freedom so that I could live my life the way I want to. And that was what I wanted more than anything, was the freedom. And that's what kept me going.
And you have that freedom now.
I do.
And, I mean, you've been doing a lot of different things. People can see you in movies now.
Yes.
And not only are you an activist, you also work for women, you work
Yes.
for animal
Yes.
rights, all sorts of different things. And
Yes.
now, you know, people say, you're living the dream now. You're living, it took a while to get there, but
Yes.
here you are.
I have an agent in Hollywood, I have an agent in Austin, I have a manager in New York, I have a publicist in Hollywood. Things are really happening. I believe God is opening the doors. I think that it's my time, it's my season, and it happen, and I'm determined to have it done. I'm determined to be free. I'm determined to live my dream, because I only have one life. And although I've had, I always tell everyone I'm like a cat. I've had 5 lives, so I've got 4, what is it, they have 9 lives? I have 4 more to go. I have 4 more to go. So, yes.
Thank you so much.
Thank you.
The book is called Breakaway by Nadia Sahari, and she is all over the state of Texas delivering speeches and signing books. If you would like to find out more, you can take a look at the website, breakawaybook.com. You can also find out how to get the book there. And again, it is called Breakaway by Nadia Sahari. Thank you so much for coming by
Thank you
today.
for having me.
We appreciate it. Very nice to meet you.
Thank you so much.
Coming up next.